he did the ministry there, and he was killed in India. The place that I'm hailing from, that's where his tomb is there, his cathedral. On his tomb there was a big cathedral being built by Portuguese people. There is a place called St. Thomas Mount. There are a lot of places bearing his name, like St. Thome, St. Thomas, Mount Road, things like that.
Was he crucified also?
No.
Or he died in natural death?
No, he was killed.
No, I didn't know.
He was killed. The crucifixion, they don't know nothing in India. They are not that bad, but they killed though. Okay, anyway. So let's concentrate on Saint John today. We'll have enough time to talk about Saint Thomas later on. Okay, so one of you could read this.
Okay. It says, liturgical commemoration. Apostle John is venerated as a saint by the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Communion, who commemorate him as John, apostle and evangelist, on December 27th. The Eastern Orthodox Church and those Eastern Catholic churches which follow the Byzantine Rite commemorate the repose of the Holy Apostle and Evangelist John the Theologian on September 26th.
I just hold on to it. I just mentioned last time about the different dates of the feast. They just set apart a particular date to celebrate a particular personality, like saints, whoever. It's called, when they include a particular portion in the Bible, that's called canonization. Same manner, they put a separate date for each saint to just remember about him, to celebrate him. And the feast, in the sense, really the Catholic Church will gather together and have a feast in his name. So that's, the Lutherans followed the same thing. The Lutheran tradition followed the same thing, like a feast day. So according to different churches, they have set aside different dates to celebrate Saint John. Roman Catholic is celebrating on December 27th. So if you buy a Roman Catholic calendar, when you see December 27th, it will say feast for St. Thomas. And Eastern Orthodox Church is celebrating on another day, on September 26th. We know that even Christmas is being celebrated by different people, different times, different dates. And opposite to Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Whitestone, opposite to Emmanuel, there is a Greek Orthodox Church. And their Good Friday, Easter is completely a different day. And suddenly the roads will be blocked and the people will be gathered and will go for a big procession. And what's going on there? So when we went and asked, said Easter? Not now. So that's how, there are different dates, different celebrations. But it's a beautiful church. I went inside and they brought everything from Greece. Including the furnitures, the decorations. It's a colorful church inside, beautiful church with a large dome.
Marble. There's a lot of marble in it.
Lot of, I don't think marble they brought it from there, but the decorations and the furnitures and the altar decorations, lot of pictures, like lot of Victoria inside. Okay. I did buy one Orthodox picture in an auction last week. I'll bring it and show it to you about the intricacies of the painting and the colorful nature. Yes, please continue.
Oh, okay. On May 8th, they celebrate the Feast of the Holy Apostle and Evangelist John the Theologian, on which date Christians used to draw forth from his grave fine ashes which were believed to be effective for healing the sick.
That is the belief of them. On a particular day, they go and they take the ashes and use the ashes on sick people and they get healed. So the relic kind of a culture is in Orthodox churches. They call it as relic, R-E-L-I-C, a bone of a certain saint, the skull of a certain saint. It's like that, you know. When I went to Colombo in Sri Lanka, there was a huge temple, multi-acres, with all the fortification, you know, and even the king of the country was living inside the temple. A quarters is there for the king and his family to live. It's a big campus, and the kings were known as protectors of that temple. Okay, and I saw hundreds of elephant tusks, the ivory, hundreds of them everywhere, decorated. And you know the temple, what the idol of the temple is? The tooth of Buddha.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know which tooth and whose tooth they are having inside. Insane. I had a good laugh though when they said that. So like that, some of the tradition they follow the relics. In some of the churches, Orthodox churches in Europe, when you visit, in some of the churches they have, they say this is the bone of Christ, this is the cloth which covered the. I don't know how to believe that, but still, they claim that there is some miracles happening. Yes,
When my daughter Susie was very, very ill in the hospital, she was there for 6 weeks. They asked if it was okay. My daughter knew a Catholic nun, and she came with a bone, a relic, and she put it on my daughter's arm, and she said a prayer, and that's all she did. I don't sort of believe in that, but my daughter did get better, but I'm not sure. I don't think she prayed to Jesus, to God,
yeah,
and that's how she got better, but
it's all.
it didn't harm anything.
Okay. It's all mystery.
It is a mystery, yeah.
What I would say, the faith that we have inside,
Yes,
that heals.
absolutely.
That heals, the faith inside. And when you really believe something, in Christ, of course, so that heals. The miracles happen, in a big functions where the popular evangelists come and say a prayer and people get healed. That's all work of the faith. Work of the faith. And some people get healed, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's work of faith. So it's all mystery. Okay. So the relics are important in some of the traditions. We don't do that. Yes.
Okay, you want me? Okay. A church, San Giovanni a Porta Latina, dedicated to him, was built near the Latin Gate of Rome, the traditional scene of the event where St. John was brought to Rome during the reign of the Emperor Domitian, and was thrown in a vat of boiling oil, from which he was miraculously preserved unharmed.
Gee,
That's likely to happen because we read in Bible, we know about what happened to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When the miracles happened, they were put in the fire and they were unharmed. The same thing happened. This is not in Bible though, but apart from Bible, there are a lot of traditions. There are a lot of hearsay. There are a lot of stories being told generation after generation. You cannot put everything in Bible. Otherwise, the Bible will be so big. Even some of the books have not been included in the Bible for certain reasons. But our belief is whatever is must, whatever is required has been given in our Bible. This is good enough for our faith. And we don't have to worry about the things which are not written, the things beyond our comprehension. We don't have to break our heads about how does heaven look, how does hell look, really how many people will be there, and all those things. We don't have to worry about it, because that is not told to us in a black and white, crystal clear. It's not told to us, but one day we will go see. And pity thing is we won't be able to even pass on to others. We cannot ask Walter, send an email about
Right.
how does heaven look there, you know. So, but when we go there, we don't have to ask anyone. We can see it by ourselves.
We'll find out.
Yeah, to find it ourselves. So we have to be patient about that. Okay. So some of the mysteries are there in our faith, which, you know, without questioning, we can just, if you have any question, maybe we can list it down and go ask whoever that we can catch hold of. First, starting from Abraham, or starting from Moses to Abraham to everyone, you know. All right. But go back, Basil. A church, San Giovanni and Pope, dedicated to him, was built near the Latin Gate of Rome. I will take a look. I'll be in Rome next week, so I'll go take a look at that. I will ask where is the Latin Gate, and ask about. I'll make sure that I do that. Maybe I'll take a picture and come and show it to all of you. Okay. Next. I told you about the Byzantine emperor and what they did to the Christianity. The oppressor community become oppressed. They were the one who were killing Christians, and one fine day the emperor became Christian. So the scenario of Christian faith completely got changed from that time onwards. That's called Byzantium. Byzantium is the present day Istanbul. The present day Turkey is Byzantium Empire. It's called the Eastern Roman Empire. Okay, some people call it as Byzantine, some people call it as Byzantium. Okay, the Byzantine, I was there in Turkey, visiting all the churches and stuff. And there are 7 churches, including Nicaea is there. The creed called the Nicene Creed came from there. And even that was organized by the Byzantium Eastern Roman Emperor, the Constantine. His name is Constantine. His mom only found all the locations in Israel. All the locations that Jesus was born here, and they built the churches on top of it. That's the glory of Byzantium. Depicting John dictating to his disciple Prochorus. I don't know. Maybe when he dictated, somebody wrote it down. That could be the Gospel of John. And so from his memory, he dictated, that was written down. And that speaks to us even after 2,000 years. Around 2,000 years. Okay. Andy, can you read the bottom portion of it?
I don't think so.
No, you can't read?
Well,
That's
I
a
knew
pity.
Latin, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't read myself.
It's all right.
Okay. Okay, so that's just a scene that he dictating. Byzantine illumination could have done in the first 3rd century. When the Romans became Christians. And the moment the king became Christian, likely the people who follow and the court, everybody will follow the king. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't happen nowadays. Next, please.
And that is the last slide for
That's
St.
okay,
John's.
now that's the end of Saint John. We read a lot about John. We referred Bible for each and every verse, and we heard a lot of stories about him and a lot of related stories about John. Now it's the time. If you have any questions, it's the time to ask, or if you want to share anything, or you want to share about what you have learned, this is the time. One thing that you liked about Saint John.
That he actually wrote.
Yeah.
When you read the Revelations or his gospel, that he wrote that.
Correct.
That he actually, that impressed me. Yeah.
He wrote, or he dictated, somebody wrote, but that's
I
the
didn't realize he did Revelations.
yes,
He was such a young boy.
he was very young. He was the youngest among the lot, and he was the oldest among the disciples to live on.
Well, he lived the longest life.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Let's-
everything he said was true, because we know he was there.
Right,
He was
I
there,
think
so
that
whatever
was
he
there.
saw,
Was
he wrote.
true, yes.
So that's why we call this gospel as what? Eyewitness gospel.
Eyewitness, right.
Yes,
Eyewitness gospel. He
Right.
saw and then he wrote.
yes.
None of the other gospels are like that.
Right,
Yeah, that surprised me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 4 gospels, only this one was written by one of the disciples.
He was the only
12%.
one that died naturally.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
naturally, he became old and right. And the other disciples also wrote, but some of them wrote. Even Thomas wrote a book, but that did not find a place in Bible. So we are talking according to the Bible. According to the Bible, inside the books of the Bible, among the 4 gospels, only one is an eyewitness gospel. Anything else? Anyone else?
How did Marcus and Matthias in English, Matthew and Mark, how did they get to write?
It's like next generation, it's like that. I believe the whole gospel was written within 100 years after the death of Christ.
So
Oh,
they
wow.
wrote down what they
Yes.
heard.
What they
by mouth.
heard, they were,
So theirs was hearsay.
no, yes, no, we have 12 disciples. Apart from 12 disciples, there were a lot of other people followed Christ, hundreds of them. We don't know the names of them, but a lot of people, and everybody branched out and started doing, under the leadership of Saint Peter. Under the leadership, one leader emerged after Christ, which was Peter, and under Peter, everyone joined together and spread the gospel everywhere. So it passed on, and then they wrote it down. We see a lot of similarities between the 4. A lot of incidents have been mentioned by all of them.
Right, and all. Right.
Not that all the 4 of them joined together, sat together and wrote. No, it's different, written in different time and with different people. Somebody compiled it. It's all God's word spoken.
I was sometimes asked in the past, how can you believe that when different gospels vary in reporting, so that's why, because they're written by different people. It's when you tell a story to somebody, You get different versions, it's
Yeah.
nowadays too.
Also, you add some flavor to it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
We could leave here now and somebody coming in would say, what went on? And
Yeah.
I would say something, she'd say
That's
something
right.
different, you'd say
Yes,
something
correct.
different. You know?
in our management game, we do that. All sit like this in a circle,
Right.
and
The
I will, as a
telephone.
trainer, I will go in my own training that I do in the HR. So I will just wish for something to Audrey,
Yeah.
and she will ask, "Oh, I didn't hear it properly." No, only once. So whatever you heard, pass it on. Okay, then you pass on something, you pass on, and it comes to, and then when it comes to Mary, I'll ask Mary to say it aloud. It would be completely different,
Yeah.
totally different.
They
Like
call
that.
telephone.
Yeah, the telephone.
Yes.
was-
So I heard the news, telephone. I heard the news in the morning radio, and there was a storm. One person passed away. Then I come and tell Audrey, and she would say, couple of people passed away. And then when it goes to Laurie, she will say, several people passed away. And then it goes to Susan, she says, so a lot of people passed away. So it goes like that. It's not numbered, one becomes couple, and couple becomes several, several become lot of people.
So was
That's
it then
it.
the moral to that story, go back to the horse's mouth
Yeah.
from the first one? That's where you get
So
to
like
the
that
truth.
little bit add, but most of the gospel, we can find the similarities. Lot of similarities there. Some places, some of them were not mentioned. So some of them are called the synoptic gospel. St. John is not there. St. John completely starts from completely different note. When you start reading from John chapter 1, it talks about the Word. Nobody talks about that. Only John talks about the Word was there. Word was, with God, and Word was God. Word became flesh. That we read. Nobody else has said that. And some of the incidents only John wrote. But all the other three Gospels are called the synoptic Gospels. There are a lot of similarities. The same incidents have been told to different people.
Little background music.
Yeah.
You are a musical man. Wherever you are.
It had to be very loud like that. So,
Yeah.
Where did he receive his education?
Who?
John. I mean, his biblical education. To be
Actually,
able to write it,
Yeah.
According to the tradition, in the Jewish family, I think I've already mentioned to you, in the Jewish family, the father is responsible for the education of the children. The father. The father's father would have taught to him. So the Torahs will be available, like scribes will be there, who will write it down. And each temple, synagogue, they will keep writing and make several copies and keep it as a library. So I will go ask for the book of Moses or book of Genesis. So I will borrow book of Genesis to my home. Then I read it every night to my children and teach them. When I finish my book of Genesis, I go return the scribe of the Genesis and ask for Exodus. This is how people are being taught and write, to read and write, the family only, because there was no schools. But if you want to study further, then you have to go to Sanhedrin. That's like a club kind of a thing. Okay, so they go there and graduate from there. Only those who graduate from there could become the member of Sanhedrin and the top of the church, the chief priest, and under them, serving under them. They will become member only by graduating, by studying in that school. And so the Pharisees.
But that word has bad connotation now, doesn't it? Don't they say that in connection with what's going on in the East, in the Middle East? Like a bad group, where they have power or something?
I don't know what name that
Do
they
they
have
go
used, but
Sanhedrin, or,
Sanhedrin is a good,
so that should be a good name, right?
member, but
Yeah.
that members only, joined together, the chief priest conspired to kill Christ. They only did that.
But today, I meant, that word today is not a good word.
No, even today in
Even
Sanhedrin
today.
is there
Mary Ellen.
in Israel.
You're thinking of a different word. I know what you're thinking about,
Oh,
but that is not Sanhedrin, it's something else. I can't think of the word.
okay, something similar, you
Yeah,
think?
some-
All right, 'cause
something
I was
similar.
like,
Yeah.
It's
Even
most-
now,
It's
today,
mostly located, I think, in Saudi Arabia, that
that's
area.
right,
Yeah.
thank you,
that's
yeah.
not even Jewish.
That's something different, right,
Even
that's,
today the Sanhedrin is there. The different people that we know, the members of Sanhedrin, we read in Bible, who came and helped. Do you remember the name? Member of Sanhedrin?
Nicodemus.
Nicodemus, you're good.
Yeah.
No, it's not a surprise that you won the first prize.
Oh, yeah.
Nicodemus is a member of, but he was the one who helped Christ because he was saved. Like he was born again. He came and asked about born again nature with Christ, and he was the one he was a popular member. And he fought for it, but he couldn't because he was alone. He could, but he was the one who took the body and put him at rest. Okay.
yes,
So thank you so much for your
thank you.
interest in the Bible study. We will begin our next Bible study the week after next week. Keep me in your prayers when you travel all over the US.
Yes.